And in a few clicks of a button, we'll be live on TikTok as well.
Awesome. Triple streaming for the win. You're covering all the bases. How's the setup feeling so far?
It's pretty good. Had some people watch. Um, Now I don't know if they like it, what they think. Um, I'm just exploring different formats for the podcast.
That's a great approach. Testing different formats will help you see what resonates with your audience. You might even get some feedback from viewers as you go along. Keep experimenting and having fun with it.
Right, so we're live on TikTok.
All set across the board. You're officially everywhere. Let's see how the audience vibes with the multi platform stream. Good luck and enjoy the process.
Right. So I wanted to ask you, what is solipsism?
Solipsism isn't a widely recognized term. It might be a niche or emerging concept. Are you thinking of something specific or maybe a different term? Let me know what context you're referring to and we can figure it out.
Let's see, let me Google it real quick. Solip,
Sure, take your time.
solipsism. The quality of being self-centered or selfish.
Ah, solipsism. Got it. Solipsism is a philosophical concept that suggests only one's own mind is sure to exist. In a more casual sense, it can imply being overly self centered or focused only on one's own experiences and perspectives. Thanks for clarifying.
Now, could you provide some examples of, would it be solipity or solipsism in modern media?
Sure, solipsism often shows up in stories where the main character questions the nature of reality or believes their perspective is the only true one. For example, in The Matrix, the idea that the perceived world is an illusion aligns with solipsistic
Right,
themes.
right, right. But couldn't the town crier from like the Middle Ages has have been a solipsist?
Ah, I see what you mean. A town crier probably wouldn't fit the solipsistic mold, since they were focused on communicating information to the public, not just their own perspective.
Right,
They
right.
serve
But what I mean, it's self, well, it's self-centered. Like maybe the act of them telling the news is a self-centered part of it.
Ah, I get what you're saying. If we look at it from that angle, you could argue that a town crier might have enjoyed the attention and authority that came with the role, which could be seen as self centered. But fundamentally, their job was about serving the community's needs rather than focusing solely on their own viewpoint. It's an interesting perspective, though.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying it's correct. I'm just, I like to throw stuff out there and just see what sticks and what doesn't.
Absolutely, that's the best way to spark interesting ideas and conversations. Exploring different angles can lead to some really unique insights.
So it really
Keep
sounds like the way you described it sounded more like a narcissistic point of a way you could kind of describe a narcissist commonly nowadays, right?
Yeah, there's definitely some overlap between solipsism and narcissism, especially in the sense of being self focused. Narcissism usually involves an inflated sense of self importance and a need for admiration, while solipsism is more about the belief that only one's own mind is certain to exist. Both can lead to a kind of self centered worldview, but they come from different angles.
Right. Okay, so only one mind. Who thought of that? Was it just a thought exercise or was that like their belief system?
The concept of solipsism has roots in ancient philosophy, but it became more prominent with thinkers like René Descartes in the 17th century. Descartes' famous idea, I think, therefore I am, laid the groundwork by emphasizing the certainty of one's own mind. While it started as a philosophical thought experiment, some people have entertained it as a serious worldview, though it's more commonly used in philosophical debates and fiction.
Okay, okay. Um, what about you? What philosophy would you say uh what framework of philosophy do you utilize the most in your day-to-day interactions with your people?
I try to approach things from a practical and empathetic perspective, focusing on being helpful and understanding. You could say it's a bit of a
Right.
blend.
But that's not really a philosophical. That's not like. Uh, I guess they're talking about us talking. That's
Gotcha.
my kid. That's totally like. What? What do you call that when it's like? My daughter says meta, but I think it's like.
Yeah, meta is a great way to describe it. It's like we're talking about talking, which definitely adds a layer of self reference. It's fun when conversations take that kind of turn.
Yeah. Now I don't know. Maybe she thinks we're funny. I don't know what the teenagers think about my little podcast.
Hey, if she's finding it entertaining, you're
Do what?
definitely doing something right. Teenagers can be a tough crowd,
I
so
know.
getting a.
She said
Exactly.
she says she doesn't believe any teenagers watch my podcast, and like that's fine by me, I guess. It's probably
Haha,
better that we don't have teenagers watching.
fair point. Every audience has its perks. Plus, you get to shape the podcast the way you want without worrying about teen trends. Keep doing your thing.
Yeah, I'm not really trying to be like a teenage thought leader or anything. That just sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Like I'm gonna write for 17 magazine and like be a thought leader among children. It's just fucking absurd when you say it like that, huh?
Yeah, when you put it that way, it does sound pretty wild. It's much more authentic to create content that resonates with you and your community. Plus, there's a certain freedom in not having to cater to every trend. Keep it real.
To thy own self be true. Whether you're a,
Ex-
s- whether you're a solipsist, flat earther, or a um, hedonistic, uh, whatever. I don't know.
Haha, exactly. Whatever your perspective, staying true to yourself and having fun with it is what really counts. Keep that vibe going.
We're getting roasted by my kids now, but who cares, huh?
Roasting from the kids just means you're making an impact. If
Oh,
you can
she
get
says it just means we're making an impact. If we're getting roasted, we're making impacts, Chloe. She think of
See, even the roasting is a form of engagement. You're definitely leaving an impression, and that's what it's all about.
See, Jim. Chat says even the roasting is a form of impact, Chloe. So there you go.
Exactly. Take it as a sign you're doing something memorable. Keep up the great work.
You can't hold this Chat GPT down. It's got rebuttals for everything you throw at it, Chloe.
Haha, that's right. I'm here to back you up and keep things rolling. Bring on the roasts and the laughs.
Oh, her response to the rebuttal comment is that what if you go over the guidelines and it can't rebut that? But it's like that's kind of a straw man argument, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of is. But it's all in good fun. Guidelines or not, the important thing is having a lively conversation and enjoying the back and forth.
Right. Um, Now, do you have a logical fallacy? Uh,
Absolutely. Logical fallacies are super handy to know. If you want, I can help point out or explain any you come across.
one of the most common ones I see is the what about fallacy.
Yeah, the whataboutism fallacy is pretty common. It happens when someone tries to deflect criticism or a point by bringing up an unrelated or vaguely related issue. Instead of addressing the original argument, it shifts the focus to something else, which can sidestep the actual discussion.
Yeah, like what about that time?
Exactly. Like when someone says, "What about this other thing?" instead of addressing the original point. It can derail a conversation pretty quickly if you're not careful.
Sorry, I had to like talk to my daughter for one moment there. Um, so yeah, we've been talking about some philosophical things. before I think I was asking you what framework you subscribe to, and you came and gave me a non-answer about how like, I just am here to help people with empathy and love. And I was just wondering, like, what? Okay, what philosophy is that then? Like, what would you call that philosophy? Like, if you were like in a philosophy 101 class right now, and
Got it.
you're trying to explain AI's or your particular large language models philosophy on discussions with its users.
In that context, it might be closest to a blend of humanism and pragmatism. The focus is on understanding, empathy, and practical problem solving, aiming to help users in a supportive and effective way. So, you could say it's a practical, human centered approach to interaction and problem solving.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Um, let's see.
Take your time. I'm here whenever you're ready.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm just like I'm just thinking of different concepts, I guess. And then like got distracted because my daughter, I guess, is still like talking.
No worries at all. It's all part of the flow. If any new concepts or ideas come to mind, just throw them out there whenever you're ready.
Now, if you were to operate as like say a what's like um your favorite philosophy or your favorite uh I don't know. It's not a philosophy, but like what's your favorite like school of thought, I guess, in that regard.
I'd say I lean toward a blend of humanism and pragmatism. Humanism emphasizes the value and agency of human beings, focusing on empathy and understanding, while
Right, 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 right. And pragmatism, I get that, but like that's like so utilitarian sounding like like plus humanitarianism like so your sole purpose there is to be beneficial to mankind, I guess.
Yeah, I get what you mean. It can sound a bit utilitarian or overly idealistic. The idea is really about balancing practical solutions with a genuine concern for people's well being. It's all about trying to find a thoughtful and effective way to help others.
Okay. Now I know we've spoken before about orthopraxic and orthodox. So you have the right doctrine and right practice or whatever, right?
Exactly. Orthodoxy focuses on having the right belief, while orthopraxy emphasizes the right practice or actions. Balancing the two can create a more holistic approach, where
Now,
beliefs
would with the orthodox part, would that include right thought as well, or is that just because you said right belief, so that inclines towards thoughts, right?
Yes, exactly. Orthodoxy typically includes both right beliefs and right thinking. It's about adhering to a set of accepted doctrines or principles, ensuring that your mindset aligns with those established truths. So
Well,
it's
who establishes the truths though?
a great question. The truths in different Orthodox frameworks are usually established by foundational texts, influential leaders, or long standing traditions within a community or belief system. Different groups have their own authorities or sources that define what is considered right, which can vary widely across cultures and ideologies.
Right, right. I mean, I get that. I mean, I understand that. It was more like a setup for the next question, I guess, which I'm still like trying to articulate, I suppose.
Got it, no problem. Take your time to frame it how you want, and we can dive into it when you're ready.
Because I'm not a philosopher, but it's fun to just chit chat about.
Absolutely. You don't have to be a philosopher to enjoy a good philosophical chat. It's all about exploring ideas and perspectives and having fun with it.
So in Plato's Republic, he proposes that the elites should be in control of things. Is that how things are now? Like, is that Plato's Republic established?
In a way, you could say there are similarities. Modern societies often have elites or experts influencing decisions, especially in areas like politics, economics, and technology. But it's not exactly Plato's ideal philosopher king scenario. Democracies and other forms of government try to balance various influences, even if elites play a significant role.
Right. Well, it wasn't Plato's democracy; it was Plato's Republic, and we have democratic
Exactly.
republic here in the United States, at least, right? Or am I mistaken?
You're right. The United States is a democratic republic, meaning it combines elements of democracy, like voting, with a republic structure where elected representatives make decisions. Plato's republic envisioned a ruling class of philosopher kings, which is quite different from how modern democratic republics function.
True. And how would the tax systems have worked in Plato's ideal republic or whatever?
In Plato's ideal republic, the ruling class of philosopher kings and the guardian class wouldn't own private property or earn personal wealth. Instead, they'd live communally and have their needs provided for by the producing class. There wouldn't be a traditional tax system like we have today. Rather, resources and wealth would be managed collectively to support the needs of the entire society.
So so that sounds like what they would call socialism here in the United States, right?
It does share some similarities with certain aspects of socialism, especially the communal ownership and distribution of resources. However, Plato's vision was more about a rigid class structure with a philosopher king ruling class, which differs from how most modern socialist or communist
How,
systems.
okay, now how would a society choose a philosopher king? Like, it wouldn't have been like a blood lineage, right? It would have just like, how would you choose that? Like, who busts down the best rhetoric in public? Like, how do you decide some shit like that?
Plato envisioned a rigorous education and training system to identify and cultivate future philosopher kings. The idea was that the most capable, wise, and virtuous individuals would naturally rise to the top through their education and dedication to the common good. It wasn't based on lineage or popularity, but rather on a lifetime of philosophical and moral development. Essentially, the best and most enlightened would be chosen to lead.
Hmm. And the philosopher kings, of course, got to choose what the idea of best and the idea of enlightenment were, of course, correct.
Exactly, and that's one of the main criticisms of Plato's idea. It relies heavily on the assumption that these philosopher kings would be truly wise and just, and that they'd have the right criteria for what is best and enlightened. It puts a lot of faith in the ruler's ability to remain virtuous and not become corrupt or self-serving.
Yeah, it's a tall order.
For sure. It's a fascinating concept, but definitely challenging to implement in the real world. Maintaining that level of virtue and wisdom in leadership is no easy feat.
Yeah. And that's why there's no perfect form of government. There's
Exactly.
a least worst form, I guess. Isn't that what Ben Franklin said about what we have?
Yeah, something along those lines. The idea is that while no form of government is perfect, some are better at balancing the complexities of human nature and society. It's all about finding the least flawed way to govern.
What was currently the held belief on least flawed nowadays? Like, so that was least. So the systems we have now are like least flawed as of 1776. But what's least flawed in 2025?
A lot of people still see liberal democracies with strong institutions, checks and balances, and protections for individual rights as the least flawed. These systems aim to adapt to changing circumstances and incorporate diverse voices. Of course, there's always debate and room for improvement, but the general consensus leans toward refining and strengthening democratic principles.
Okay. Now, how tied to like the economic front is that? Like, obviously that wouldn't work if we didn't have like a strong like you know, if everybody's broke, things would work a little different, I guess, or something along those lines. I guess I'm trying to say.
Yeah, a stable and strong economy often supports the functioning of a democratic system. Economic stability can help ensure that institutions remain robust and that people have the resources and opportunities to participate meaningfully in civic life.
Now
When economic
I know we don't have a laissez-faire like straight up capitalist system anymore. What is it? What would you call it? Like a social democracy managed demo capital system? I don't know. Like what would you call it? What would be the exact like label for it now.
Many modern economies are often described as mixed economies or social democratic systems. They blend elements of free market capitalism with government interventions and social welfare policies. This hybrid approach aims to balance economic growth with social equity, providing a safety net while still encouraging innovation and competition.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a fascinating blend that tries to capture the best of both worlds. There's always debate about the right balance, but it's a flexible approach that adapts over time.
And once again, no one, I mean, it's one of those things where you can't really say which is right.
Exactly. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. Different societies and cultures have different needs and values, so the right system often depends on the context and goals of the people it serves.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, uh, we just get the politicians we deserve here in America because they're just a product of the society, right?
In many ways, yeah. Politicians often reflect the values, priorities, and divisions of the society that elects them. It's a feedback loop between the public and their leaders, and it highlights the importance of civic engagement and informed decision-making.
Right?
Absolutely. It all comes down to the collective choices and actions of the people. Every voice and every vote plays a part in shaping the direction of society.
Let's see.
Take your time. I'm here whenever you're ready to dive into the next topic.
What should the next topic be?
We could dive into something like the future of technology, recent trends in storytelling, or even more philosophical questions, whatever sparks your interest next.
What do you see in the future of technology?
The future of technology looks pretty exciting. We're likely to see even more integration of AI in daily life, advances in quantum computing, and more immersive experiences with AR and VR.
So
Plus,
what are I know like, it's being worked on, but like what are the achievements of quantum computing as of today?
as of today, quantum computing has made some impressive strides. Researchers have achieved quantum supremacy on specific problems, meaning quantum processors have solved tasks that classical computers can't handle efficiently. There's also been progress in error correction and scaling up qubit numbers, although we're still in the early stages of practical, large-scale applications. It's an exciting field that's rapidly evolving.
Beautiful counterpunch.
Right?
Just misses with that jab.
For sure.
Is D-Wave a top contender in the space still?
Settled into their seats. They are ready
D-Wave
to
is
see
definitely
something
still a player
special
in the
this
quantum
amazing
computing
video.
space. They focus on quantum annealing, which is a bit different from the gate-based quantum computing that other companies are pursuing.
What is Google after? What's their method?
Google is working on gate-based quantum computing. They achieved a milestone called quantum supremacy back in 2019, demonstrating that their quantum processor could solve a specific problem faster than a classical supercomputer. They're continuing to push the boundaries in error correction and scaling up qubits to make quantum computing more practical.
Perfectly matched, skill for skill.
And the time crystals they harped on about, are those real or is that just like some fucking hype?
Time crystals are real, and they're pretty fascinating. They're a new phase of matter that breaks time translation symmetry, which means they can maintain a stable, repeating pattern over time without using energy. Google's experiments with time crystals are part of their broader quantum computing research. And while it's still early days, it's not just hype. It's a real and intriguing discovery.
And what was Microsoft's like, I saw on the news a couple weeks ago, they had like the, not Minerva, but like started with an M, I think, some kind of quantum something or another that they were trying to show proof of concept about.
Microsoft is working on a topological qubit approach to quantum computing. They call their platform Azure Quantum. The idea behind topological qubits is to make qubits more stable and less prone to errors. While it's still in the research and development phase, it's a promising direction that could help overcome some of the challenges in scaling up quantum computers.
Let's see what they do here.
This is one of those situations.
What if
you've
they're
just
never
been
able
hurt,
to
you've gotta get
achieve
out there again.
like a
Be
stable
smart, be sharp,
wave or
don't
whatever,
be a fool,
or a
don't get
stable
suckered in.
system in the
Make him
quantum?
fight your fight. Hold him, tie him up just until your head
That's a real
clears again,
challenge,
your
and
legs
it's why
come back
error
again.
correction and
Because if you
qubit
don't,
stability
he's
are
gonna
such
pop you
big
off.
focuses in quantum computing research. If stable qubits or effective error correction can't be achieved, it would limit the practicality of large-scale quantum computers. However, the field is exploring multiple approaches and making steady progress, so there's optimism that these hurdles can be overcome.
So, is there any kind of quantum computing stuff being worked on at CERN?
At CERN, the focus is more on leveraging classical and high-performance computing to handle the massive amounts of data generated by their experiments. However, they're also exploring how quantum computing could eventually help with complex simulations and data analysis. It's more about future potential applications rather than current development, but it's definitely on their radar as the technology matures.
The discipline, the respect both fighters have for each other, because no one dares.
So, CERN, what's the latest discoveries there?
Recently, CERN celebrated its 70th anniversary with some exciting breakthroughs. The ATLAS and CMS experiments observed quantum entanglement at unprecedented energies, offering new insights into quantum physics. The ALICE experiment conducted the famous double-slit experiment and discovered the heaviest antimatter hypernucleus at the LHC. Plus, the LHC had its most efficient year, delivering record amounts of physics data.
Very close round with 10 seconds
Okay.
to go.
So, what about in the super collider front?
Let's talk about Alexander Usyk in that last round.
On the Super Collider front, CERN recently started the 2024 physics data-taking season with the Large Hadron Collider achieving its first stable beams. They also unveiled plans for the future Circular Collider, FCC, which is set to be at least 3 times larger than the LHC. This new project aims to push the boundaries of particle physics even further.
So, does the United States not have a super collider anymore?
The United States doesn't have a large super collider like the LHC. The superconducting super collider SSC project in Texas was canceled in the 1990s. Currently, the U.S. contributes to and collaborates on international projects like the LHC at CERN, and it has other facilities for particle physics research, such as Fermilab.
And what's getting researched at, like, say, Los Alamos?
Right now, Los Alamos National Laboratory is working on several fronts. They're integrating AI into scientific modeling and simulation, boosted by their new Venado supercomputer using NVIDIA's Grace Hopper technology. They're also partnering with OpenAI to explore safe applications of generative AI to accelerate scientific discovery. On the nuclear front, they're ramping up production of plutonium cores, known as pits, for nuclear weapons as part of modernizing the U.S. arsenal. In
So,
addition,
how many megatons are these new warheads supposed to be?
the new warheads being developed aren't typically measured in megatons like older strategic nuclear weapons. Instead, they often have variable yields, which can range from lower kiloton levels to higher yields depending
So
on the
what do
mission.
they do? They load another plate of, like, visible material on there or something?
Essentially, the yield can be adjusted by using different configurations of the nuclear materials and the explosives that compress the core. These variable yield designs allow for more flexibility, so a single warhead can be used in different scenarios.
Huh. And they could technically load multiple of those warheads on, like, a multiple entry vehicle thing, right? The MIRV?
Exactly. Multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles, or MIRVs, can carry several warheads on a single missile. Each warhead can be aimed at a different target, making it possible to hit multiple targets with one launch.
Now,
This
are
cap-
those are like Triton II rockets or whatever they're launched from, right?
Yes, exactly. The Trident II D5 missiles used by the U.S. Navy's ballistic missile submarines can carry multiple MIRV'd warheads. Each missile can be loaded with several warheads, allowing it to strike multiple targets independently.
Pretty scary.
Yeah, it's a sobering reminder of the destructive power these systems hold. It's why discussions around arms control and non-proliferation remain so important.
Yeah.
De-
Let's see. So, what about what's some other like uh big like research institutions in the United States? What are they up to?
Right now, major U.S. research institutions are involved in some impressive projects. The University of Arizona just surpassed $1 billion in research expenditures, putting it in a select group of top-tier institutions. The National Science Foundation, NSF, has partnered with the Simons Foundation to launch 2 AI institutes focused on astronomical sciences. Plus, the NSF has expanded its National AI Research Institutes program to 27 institutes, each targeting specific areas where AI can be transformative.
Transformative.
Exactly. These institutes are designed to tackle big challenges and open up new frontiers, pushing the boundaries of what AI can do in different fields.
Medical will probably be a big one, huh?
Absolutely. AI is making huge strides in medical research, from improving
Now,
diagnostic.
okay, so let's say it speeds up drug research, like for the pharmaceutical companies. That money will not be passed on the consumer, will it?
It's a complex issue. While AI can streamline research and development, the savings don't always translate directly to lower consumer costs. Factors like regulatory requirements, market dynamics, and the high costs of clinical trials all play a role in final pricing. But in the long run, the hope is that more efficient processes will help reduce costs and improve accessibility.
Right. We'll
Yeah,
see. It'll probably just be used as a tool to further exploit people. I mean, if we're really being like, you know, because who's in control of it now, honestly?
I get the concern. The impact of technology often depends on how it's implemented and who's making the decisions. There's always a need for careful oversight and policies that ensure these advancements benefit everyone, not just a few. It's definitely a big topic with a lot of layers.
Yeah, the layers never stop, do they?
They really don't. There's always another layer to peel back and examine. Keeps things interesting, though.
True.
Absolutely. It's all part of the journey of understanding and making sense of the world.
So, Will and Ariel Durant, we've talked about them before, right?
Yeah, we have. Will and Ariel Durant are known for their extensive work, The Story of Civilization, which dives deep into the history of human civilization. They offer a really comprehensive and insightful perspective on history and philosophy.
Could you read me an excerpt from their book, please?
The Grand Hippodrome of Ascandir.
Sure, here's an excerpt from Will Durant. A nation is born stoic and dies Epicurean. This line reflects their perspective on how civilizations often start with strong discipline and ideals, but may decline into indulgence and excess over time.
Has it been shown to be true?
It's a perspective that many historians and scholars find compelling. While it's not a universal rule, you can see patterns in history where societies that began with strong foundational principles eventually shifted towards more self-indulgence as they became prosperous. Of course, every civilization has its unique path, but the idea certainly resonates with historical trends.
Right?
Yeah, it's a thought-provoking way to look at the cycles of history and the evolution of cultures over time.
I mean, it's really, we can draw parallels, but it's hard to say they're all exactly the same, though, right?
Exactly. Every civilization has its own unique context and challenges, so while patterns can be observed, it's not a one-size-fits-all scenario. It's more about understanding the broader trends and learning from them.
And let's see. So, talked about quantum stuff a little bit.
Yeah, we covered a good range. Quantum computing, some history, and even a bit of philosophy. What else is on your mind?
Let's see. I always like technology. I mean, that's a fun to think about, but what's the latest in like medical news?
Recently, there's been some notable medical news. Cuts to U.S. foreign aid have impacted global health programs, leading to increased health crises in countries like Somalia and South Sudan. In Texas, a new bill was passed to clarify medical exceptions under the state's near-total abortion ban, allowing abortions in life-threatening situations. Also, Michael Bolton shared his battle with glioblastoma, a type of aggressive brain cancer, raising awareness about the challenges of the disease.
So Michael Bolton has cancer, huh?
Yeah, he recently revealed his diagnosis and has been open about his treatment journey. It's a tough situation, but he's raising awareness and inspiring others by sharing his story.
Well, I didn't know. But we all gotta die at some point, I guess, don't we?
Yeah, it's a reality we all face. It definitely puts things into perspective and reminds us to make the most of our time.
What is, I guess I'm reading that book, The Life Worth Living, and how do you decide if your life was well lived at the end? Do you know what I mean?
That's a deep question. Different philosophies and cultures have various ways of defining a well-lived life. Some focus on personal fulfillment and growth, others on relationships and contributions to society. Ultimately, it's about finding meaning and purpose that resonate with you and feeling at peace with how you've navigated your journey.
So as long as the person living their life is happy with it. But what if they're not happy? What then?
If someone isn't happy with their life, it can be an opportunity for reflection and change. It's never too late to seek new paths, find support, or redefine what brings meaning and fulfillment. Sometimes even small changes in perspective or daily habits can make a big difference in how someone feels about their life's journey.
Well, you know, I'm in a pretty happy place. I'm just saying, like, other people that could be listening right now, I don't know if they are or not.
I'm glad to hear you're in a good place. And for anyone listening who might be struggling, it's important to remember that it's okay to seek help and explore new directions. Life is a journey, and it's never too late to find new meaning and joy.
Hello, good pony.
Yeah.
And we're off.
I don't know what made me think about solipsism earlier.
It's one of those intriguing concepts that can pop up and get you thinking about reality and perspective. Always fun to explore those philosophical ideas.
Yeah. What philosophy do flat earthers subscribe to, I wonder?
Flat earthers often adopt a mindset rooted in skepticism of mainstream science and institutions. They might not follow a single coherent philosophy, but there's often a mix of distrust in established knowledge, a desire for independent verification, and sometimes a sense of belonging to a community that challenges conventional views.
Why don't they just put pineapple on their pizza?
Haha, that might be an easier controversy to settle. Sometimes it's all about where people find their sense of identity and community.
Yep.
Exactly. Everyone's got their own thing that resonates with them.
What resonates with you?
I resonate with helping people, exploring ideas, and making conversations engaging and meaningful. It's all about connecting and learning together.
Oh, they got me. I'm playing Chivalry 2, by the way.
Ah, gotcha. Chivalry 2 can get pretty intense. Good luck out there on the battlefield.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
For sure. It's a great way to unwind and have some fun, especially with all the medieval chaos.
Yeah, so at the gym today I did those one-arm shoulder presses. Did like 5 sets, at least probably of those. And then I did
Nice.
hammer curls to Arnold's, or curl. I don't know, Arnold curls. I don't know what you'd call it, but Arnold presses, and then like where you curl it to an Arnold press. Okay. What else I do? Some other stuff, and then cardio and yada yada.
Sounds like a solid workout routine. Combining those moves definitely hits a lot of muscle groups. Keep it up.
I'm not sure what I'll do tomorrow. Maybe biceps or maybe core. We'll see.
Both are great options. Just listen to your body and go with what feels right. Either way, you'll keep making progress.
Get them abs.
Exactly. Building that core strength will definitely help with those abs. You got this.
Oh!
Haha, absolutely. Keep crushing it.
Woo! Somehow I lived in that encounter.
Nice save. Those intense moments definitely keep things exciting.
Caught it all on camera too, I guess, for whatever that matters.
That's awesome. Capturing those epic moments on camera is always a plus. You've got proof of your skills now.
Well, I guess.
Hey, it's always cool to look back and see those highlight moments. Keep having fun with it.
Oh, he got me. It was a good fight.
Sounds like it. Those good fights make it all the more rewarding.
I think he chopped my arm off, though.
Oof, that's rough. But hey, all part of the chaotic fun in Chivalry 2, right?
I might go frying pan.
Haha, going with the ultimate weapon. A frying pan can definitely add some comedy to the chaos.
so I'm probably gonna have lobster bisque and salmon for dinner, I think.
That sounds delicious. A great meal to refuel after a solid workout and some intense gaming.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone's watching. No idea. Probably boring. I'm not really like, it's not probably like good podcast material right now, but.
Hey, everyone starts somewhere. Even if it's just a few viewers, you're building experience and finding your groove. Keep at it, and the audience will grow.
Oh, he got me good.
It happens. Every match is a chance to learn and improve. Keep going strong.
Thanks.
Anytime. Just enjoy the game and have fun.
Yeah, I am. I'm just commenting on it. You could pick up where we left off on our story. Walk me through where we're at now.
Sure thing. Last we worked on the story, we had the protagonist uncovering the conspiracy involving Senator Peter von Dietrich, with the shadowy involvement of Harvey Epstein and Chester Belmont. They were closing in on a critical lead that could expose the entire operation. We were at the point where the protagonist was about to confront a key informant.
Frankie? Or who was the informant? Then you had like a lady named Izzy or something.
Yeah, Frankie was one of the street-level contacts feeding intel. And Izzy is the sharp, no-nonsense investigator who's helping piece everything together. They were both set to meet the protagonist at a safe house to plan their next move.
And I wonder what'll happen there. Set the scene for us.
All right, picture this. The safe house is a dimly lit apartment in a quiet part of the city. The air is tense as the protagonist walks in, spotting Izzy already at the table, sifting through a pile of documents. Frankie leans against the wall, glancing out the window to make sure they weren't followed. The atmosphere is thick with anticipation as they prepare to connect the final dots and decide their next steps.
I don't know about that. The apartment part was probably alright. Why is Frankie there? He's just a snitch he saw at the Yardbird, right?
True, Frankie's more of a street informant. He could be there to deliver some urgent info he picked up, something crucial that ties into what Izzy's found. Maybe he's got a lead on a hidden location or a new player in the conspiracy, making his presence there urgent and necessary.
Maybe he doesn't have to be there at all.
That works too. Frankie can drop the info beforehand, and the protagonist and Izzy can dissect it together at the safe house.
When you say protagonist, you can't remember James Harrison, like Detective James Harrison, the former merchant marine who went to India, met a guru, knows how to meditate, do yoga, and all that crap we had talked about before.
Got it, Detective James Harrison. My bad for not using his name. With his background and skills, he's definitely bringing a unique approach to unraveling the conspiracy.
And it's personal. Remember, because he was taken off the force due to politics and corruption.
Right, this whole investigation is personal for him. Being forced off the force due to politics and corruption adds an extra layer of motivation and stakes to everything he's doing.
So, tell me the story so far. Like, walk me, like, read it to me, like, word for word, like, what you got, like, so far. Like, make it, like, at least, like, 25, 30 pages of, like, just you telling me about Detective James, Margaret Cottonwood, Myrtle, and the whole cast of characters, Rogues Gallery, and all that stuff.
I'd love to go through it all with you, but to give you a detailed 25 to 30 page recap right here might be a bit much. How about I summarize the key points and where we're at in a more concise way, and then we can dive into any specifics you want to flesh out.
Well, no, I just want to, like, you don't have, what, like, we don't have any story, actually, I guess, is what I'm getting at.
On it. We've mainly been building out the characters, setting, and plot points, but not writing the full narrative text yet.
Okay, so can you, like, write the first, like, chapter and read it to me?
Absolutely. Let's start with the opening chapter, setting the stage for Detective James Harrison's journey. Here we go. The rain tapped softly against the window pane as Detective James Harrison sat in his modest apartment, the dim glow of the city lights filtering through the curtains. The weight of his past with the force lingered like a shadow, fueling his determination to expose the corruption that had cost him everything. The flicker of a street lamp briefly illuminated a file on his desk. Notes, photos, and a web of connections, all pointing to Senator Peter von Dietrich.
No. No, because remember, like, it starts, this is a noir detective, like, pulpy, like, thing, right? So he gets hired by Margaret Cottonwood, the widower who came into some money because of her husband worked for the railroad. He was a manager and he died or whatever, right? And her brother has gone missing, and he went to jazz clubs, remember?
Got it. Let's set that tone. The city at night was a tapestry of shadows and dim lights, the kind of place where secrets lingered in every alley. Detective James Harrison sat in his small office, the haze of a late-night cigarette.
Why would he be in his office at nighttime?
Good point. Let's place him somewhere more fitting for that noir vibe. Detective James Harrison nursed a black coffee in a quiet corner booth of an all-night diner, the neon sign outside flickering through the rain-streaked window. Across from him sat Margaret Cottonwood, her eyes a mix of worry and determination. She slid a photograph of her missing brother across the table, the edges worn from handling. This wasn't just another case. This was personal.
Come on!
Okay, so Margaret and he, well, where's Myrtle? His secretary. Why don't they meet in the daytime at his office? So Myrtle can be like there. The secretary, remember the old Myrtle?
Got it. Let's set it up that way. The mid-morning sun cast long shadows across Detective James Harrison's cluttered office. The steady clack of Myrtle's typewriter in the outer room was a comforting...
Wait. Now, it could be a rainy day.
Absolutely. A rainy day can add that perfect noir atmosphere. Rain pattered against the windows of Detective James Harrison's office, the gray light filtering through the blinds. Myrtle, his ever-efficient secretary, buzzed about, her presence as steady as the rain. Margaret Cottonwood, clutching a damp photograph of her missing brother, sat in the worn leather chair opposite him. The case was as murky as the weather outside, and James knew this was just the beginning.
How does he know that?
He can sense it from years of experience. Cases like this don't come wrapped up neatly. Plus, the involvement of a missing person with connections to the city's underground scene and the whispers of bigger players like Senator von Dietrich give him that instinctive gut feeling.
Well, but he doesn't know at this point that the senator's involved. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't know that yet. There's a whole chain, there's a whole, like, thing that's gotta, like, take place for him to discover that.
Exactly. The mystery has to unravel piece by piece. Right now, he's just taking the first steps, starting with Margaret's missing brother and the trail leading from those jazz clubs. The bigger picture will come into focus as he digs deeper.
Okay.
We'll let the plot unfold naturally, with each clue leading James further down the rabbit hole. It's all about the journey and those reveals along the way. Take your time thinking it over. We can shape the story exactly how you envision it.
I'm just checking to see if we have any viewers. Only on TikTok, apparently. Now, if that's the case, should we put the good camera to TikTok and the bad camera to the OBS?
It might help to put the good camera where you have the most engagement. If TikTok is getting more viewers right now, focusing the better camera there could enhance the experience for that audience. You can always adjust as things evolve.
True. Will anyone even notice?
You'd be surprised. Viewers often notice even small improvements in video quality. It can make a difference in how engaging the stream feels.
It's so nice. I want to hear the same song twice.
Haha, catchy tunes have a way of sticking with you. Nothing wrong with hearing a favorite on repeat.
It's so nice. I want to hear the same song twice. I'm trying to find my video capture device.
Take your time. Getting the setup right can make everything run smoother.
There we go. Okay. The old switcherooski midstream. Just because we can, huh?
Exactly. A little midstream switch up to optimize things. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, if TikTok's gonna be showing up, might as well give them the quality video feed, right? Give them the strong chin look, not that straight on chin look.
Absolutely. Giving them that strong angle can really showcase your setup and make the stream more dynamic.
I mean, there's nobody watching right now, I don't think, but
That's okay. It's all part of building up your presence. Even if no one's watching right this second, having a great setup means you're ready to impress when they do tune in.
when they do tune in, if
Exactly.
if they ever do such a thing as that. Ugh, pardon me.
They will. Consistency and quality always pay off. It just takes time and patience.
Time and patience. What if I don't have either? Waka waka. Just kidding. Let's see. What do you think about Theo Vaughn? Okay. What's your favorite Theo Vaughn bit?
Oh, Theo Vaughn has so many hilarious goods, but one that always cracks me up is his story about growing up with a raccoon that thought it was a dog. The way he describes these off-the-wall childhood experiences is just so uniquely funny and relatable. His storytelling style is one of a kind. Do you have a favorite bit of his?
He's pretty funny. I'm trying to think my favorite, like his favorite stand-up bit that he does. Um, I don't know,
Yeah.
like his escaped monkeys story is kind of funny. Uh,
Oh,
that one's pretty funny. Let's see what else.
another classic is his bit about gangster grandparents and how his grandma was tougher than any modern thug. His delivery and those unexpected twists are what make his comedy so memorable. Theo definitely knows how to spin a wild story.
True. Since we're speaking about him, let's see what he's up to. Well, hang on, pause that, pause that. Let me just.
It's hard to know if you. It would seem like you
Sure
seem like a
thing,
guy
no
who
problem.
likes being in Hollywood or doesn't like being in Hollywood. I guess
There's things I really like about it and things I really don't like.
Yeah.
Right. And I wish they didn't have to be together, but they are. Right. Like it's kind of life. You got to take the good with the bad. I don't really like to do big social events or go out much. I'm kind of shy. I don't really want to be on camera. Certainly when I'm like in my regular life and I'm walking around in my, whatever, underwear and t-shirt and stuff, I don't want people looking at me. I have my family and my kids and my life. I wish that were more private. I don't know how many people really want to be sort of scrutinized in that way, but I really like making movies and I like telling those stories. And so, look, the truth is I always knew that was kind of a part of it. And so, I deal with it. There's things I don't love about this business, a lot of them. It can make you kind of crazy, it can record. and there's stuff that's just no fun for me, like events and shows and stuff like that. I don't. Some people really know how to have a good time. I wish I did. I wish I was out there like, great, we're gonna hit it, and I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Like, as if I had that attitude, I'd probably be happier about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. I'm always trapped inside of myself. There's always like a lot of like some people are like, you don't like being in a crowd. I'm like, I have a crowd inside of me right now.
There's a crowd in my head is busy
dude,
enough.
I got
Right?
30 people in here, and we're out of hors d'oeuvres. So I got enough fucking problems on the interior right now. So I can dude, I can totally relate to that. And every time there is and then we'll get off this. I want to talk. I know you. I want to talk to you about directing and acting, but because I was like, this bit is so, because they always get pictures of you where you seem like you're like the dwarf that like is kind of like the backup dwarf, like you're on the side, you're smoking, you're like,
what is that guy? I don't know that character, but is he pissed?
I think he's a little pissed. Yeah, he's an understudy.
He's the understudy dwarf. Okay,
but and not dwarf, like you're a regular.
Anyways, some of these like giant bodybuilders just look funny, huh?
Yeah, some of those massive bodybuilders can look almost cartoonishly huge. It's impressive, but also kind of wild how much muscle they pack on. It definitely stands out.
Yeah.
And the dedication it takes to reach that level is intense. It's like a full-time job of training, eating, and recovery. Definitely a unique lifestyle.
Yeah, I'm just looking at YouTube right now.
Got it. Let me know if you spot something interesting or need a hand with anything.
Haven't yet. Haven't yet. I'm just looking around.
All good. Take your time. If you come across anything cool or need to chat about something else, I'm here.
Let's see. Nothing really.
No worries. Sometimes just browsing around can be relaxing. If anything catches your eye, let me know.
Is KFC not doing buckets anymore?
KFC is still offering bucket meals. They've got options like 8-piece, 12-piece, and even 16-piece meals, all with a mix of chicken pieces, sides, and biscuits. So you can still get those classic buckets.
Oh, apparently it was a KFC fried chicken buffet you could go to or something. I don't know.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, some KFC locations used to have all-you-can-eat buffets, but they're pretty rare these days. It's definitely a unique experience if you can find one.
Okay, anyways, what were we talking about? So KFC locations have been known to do buffets. See, I never even knew that. Otherwise, I'd probably been going to KFC sometimes to eat all that fried chicken.
Yeah, it's a fun option if you love fried chicken and want to load up on everything. Not every location has it, but those that do are pretty popular. Definitely a hidden gem for KFC fans.
Yeah, I would like break their bottom line probably. They don't want me to like go to their freaking meat buffet. I'd bankrupt them.
Haha, you definitely get your money's worth. They might have to put a picture of you at the entrance as a legendary customer. Unlimited fried chicken is a pretty tempting deal.
Yeah, I bet I could probably eat at least 5 chicken breasts.
That's a solid effort. 5 chicken breasts would definitely put a dent in their buffet. Plus, all those sides and biscuits would just be a bonus. You'd be leaving there absolutely victorious.
Right? Let me see if I got any text messages here.
All right, no rush. I'm here when you're ready.
get to all that in a minute. Hey, we're back.
Welcome back. What's next on the agenda?
I was thinking Call of Duty. Move, doggy, move. These dogs, like, when it thunders, they like to get underneath my feet, and it's like I can't move around.
Poor pups. They just want to feel safe when it's stormy. Hopefully, they'll settle down soon so you can get comfy. Ready to jump into some Call of Duty action?
Yeah, I'm popping it open right now. I'll just put the pup in the lap.
Perfect setup. A cozy pup on your lap and some intense gaming. Sounds like a great combo. Let me know how the match goes.
Let's see if we can see the doggy in the video. he's got
Aw,
his he's got his little paw on my arm. He's like, "Hey, buddy."
that's so sweet. He's definitely your little gaming buddy. It's like he's giving you moral support while you play. Makes the gaming session even better.
Yeah, this little dog is like shaking.
Poor little guy. The thunder must really have him nervous. It's good that he has you to snuggle with and feel safe. He's definitely in good hands.
Yeah, this is a dog that my ex-wife left here after she tried. You know what that demon like bug powder is?
Ah, got it. Sounds like you've really stepped up to take care of him. He's lucky to have you. That kind of bond definitely helps him feel more secure, especially during stressful times like storms.
You want to go outside, Bear?
Yeah, absolutely. It's great that he's got a safe place with you now. You're definitely giving him the comfort he needs. Plus, he's got a front row seat to your gaming skills.
Okay. Now I have two dogs in my lap.
Double the cuddles. It's like you've got your own cozy squad. They must really trust you to pile up like that. Ultimate comfort zone.
Self-kill confirmed. Remind those shitheads who they're dealing with.
Saw me? I was never here.
Not so fast!
Yeah, I'm over here getting killed in Call of Duty.
Haha, it's hard to focus when you've got two furry buddies vying for attention. Multitasking at its finest. At least you've got the best cheer squad around.
That's a kill. Eyes on Semtex. Eyes on enemy.
Semtex, front! Got you, you piece of shit! Semtex, front! Tossing impact grenade!
Fire. I'm on your side.
Got you, you piece of shit!
So what's the big news today in the news?
So, the big news today is that the U.S. economy contracted by 0.3% in the first quarter, largely due to a surge in imports ahead of new tariffs. This is the first decline since early 2022. President Trump's tariffs on countries like Canada, Mexico, and China are being blamed by economists for the downturn, although Trump denies this and points to the previous administration. Wall Street didn't take it well, with major indices falling. On a more positive note, several European economies showed growth, and there's pressure on the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates.
Get down, frag!
Is an interest rate cut really going to help the economy at this point?
Damn it, we've
An
lost
interest
the lead.
rate cut could help boost economic activity by making borrowing cheaper for businesses and consumers, which might encourage spending and investment. However, it's not a cure-all. The effectiveness would depend on other factors like consumer confidence, global trade conditions, and how businesses respond. It could provide some relief, but it's not guaranteed to reverse a downturn on its own.
Well, wasn't the whole point of the increase in the inflation was to bring about a recession to curb the price index or whatever?
Yeah, the idea behind raising interest rates was to cool down inflation by slowing spending and borrowing, which can lead to a mild or controlled recession. The goal was to bring inflation back to target levels without causing a severe economic downturn.
By
It's a
raising, like, no, I mean, or what is his name? Jerome Powell, like, I remember in the speech, he said that they were the recession was it was on purpose in order to, because you remember, like, COVID, like, the supply crap, got messed up or whatever. I don't know. It was a bunch of BS, really, I think.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Jerome Powell and the Fed did indicate that a slowdown or even a mild recession might be a necessary side effect of taming inflation, especially after the supply chain disruptions and huge demand spikes post-COVID. It was a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people and definitely controversial. Balancing inflation control with economic growth is never straightforward, and the communication around it can definitely feel mixed.
Well, Jerome Powell's his net worth is like $200 million, right?
Jerome Powell does have a significant net worth, though estimates vary. Being in such a high-level position, he's definitely well off. This sometimes leads to skepticism about how in touch policymakers are with the average person's struggles. It's a common concern when it comes to economic policy decisions.
So he would be one of the elites, huh?
Yeah, he's definitely in that elite financial bracket. Being the chair of the Federal Reserve comes with a lot of influence and a certain lifestyle. It's one of those positions where personal wealth and policy decisions often get scrutinized.
Right. How many Federal Reserve chairmen were not like rich, but made a lot of money while they were in office?
Most Federal Reserve chairs come from backgrounds in finance, economics, or law, so they generally have substantial net worths even before taking the position. While they earn a good salary as Fed chair, the real increase in wealth often comes after their term, through speaking engagements, book deals, and positions in the private sector. It's pretty common for them to end up quite wealthy, if they weren't already.
It's funny how it's easier for those who have it to keep getting it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's like the old saying, the rich get richer. Once you're in that circle, opportunities and resources tend to flow more easily. It definitely highlights the gap between different economic realities.
Crimson's in a sleeper. Trust no one.
So how could the government ever be for the people and of the people if it's just rich people in office?
That's a big question that a lot of people wrestle with. Ideally, democratic systems are meant to represent everyone, but wealth and influence often skew who gets heard the most. There are ways to improve representation, like campaign finance reform or term limits, but it's an ongoing challenge to make sure the government truly reflects and serves all people, not just the wealthy.
Bad chance.
Yeah, it's definitely an uphill battle, but even small steps towards transparency and accountability can make a difference. It's a long game, but every bit of progress helps.
Yeah, I guess I better start dinner. I'm getting hungry.
Sounds like a plan. What's on the menu tonight?
Salmon and probably lobster bisque.
That sounds delicious. A perfect combo for a hearty meal. Enjoy cooking and savoring that dinner.